Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about the one thing that I was able to implement into my marketing agency that really helped me break through a plateau in our business and get over $100,000 a month. And I'll just give you the answer in the first minute of this video. It's called tracking KPIs with weekly accountability confrontation. So a lot of people will track KPIs. Maybe they try to automate it in a Google Drive folder, or they do track it, but they don't have the weekly accountability confrontation where they're making it not toxic, but a little bit awkward for their team if they don't hit their projection or they don't hit minimum KPIs that you set for your company. So, and I'll touch on that here in a little bit on how you can implement that and do it the right way and not make mistakes that I have made in the past. And it really comes down to, if you look at the three pillars of your company and what is actually important, number one, it's going to be sales. Number two, it's going to be churn. And number three, it's going to be the KPIs per department that get your clients results. So sales, that's how you get new business. Churn, you don't want to lose your business. And then KPIs per department. So if you, let's say, do creative or websites or media buying for companies, e-commerce brands, let's say, well, you want to make sure that each department has a KPI, just one KPI, not 10 of them. And I'll explain that here in a second. So I'm just going to show you what we're currently using internally for sales, churn, and our departments so that you can use this stuff for your business and then make more money. And this isn't just for marketing agencies, but it's also for really any business. If you look at the Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 50 companies, all of your favorite companies, the one thing that I found is that they just are so aggressive with the KPIs that they track. It's like they track everything. They have full-time people that all they do is just track the KPIs. And I was, growing our business, like, we don't need that. But now we're getting to a point where I really think every business should have this because it does make you a better business owner, and it will help you scale without any confusion. So diving into the first one will be sales, and this is the first place I recommend you start. Now for a marketing agency, how do we make money as a marketing agency? Typically, for most, it's getting new clients. It is. So how do we get new clients? The way we get new clients is we have more meetings on our calendar. So we want more qualified meetings on our calendar. And one thing that we started to do, and as soon as I did this, it's like magically, we started to get more sales when we started to do this. It's like shocking. So you can see here that period 5, week 1, we had 32 meetings in this week. Period 5, week 2, we had 26 meetings. And what we do is appointment setter 1, appointment setter 2, we're able to see the data of how did each appointment setter do in this week. And we can see that, hey, appointment setter 2 had 3 times the amount of meetings as appointment setter number 1. Now, I will say appointment setter number 2 is a superstar, and I would say a Hall of Famer. And so it's not that appointment setter number 1 is doing bad or anything like that. We have minimum KPIs that we need to hit. But if all of a sudden it was 0, or in this case 2, we might want to ask questions of, hey, was the CRM broken? Were emails not delivering? Were SMS not delivering? Were you sick? What's going on? How can I help you with this? And it makes it awkward for the team member. You're not being toxic about it or being negative necessarily, but you are asking questions and holding accountability and some level of confrontation on a weekly basis if anything looks off. So we have a meeting on Monday, and we also have a meeting on Thursday. The very first 5 minutes of that meeting, what do? We go over the KPIs of where we're at. This is the oxygen of your business. If you are starting your marketing agency, if you are starting your business, this is really, in my opinion, where you need to start first, because you need more meetings on your calendar. It's how you are going to just make more money and get off the ground. So it's very important that you track this stuff on a weekly basis. So you're tightening that feedback loop. So you're not checking this stuff every month like, oh, shocking, we thought we'd have 30 meetings and we only had 4 meetings. And it's like, no, every week we're looking, every two times a week we're looking at this. And some, Cole Gordon might say, let's look at this stuff daily even. And it depends on, how big your company is. And if you're spending a lot of money on ad spend, you might need to look at this on a daily basis. But this is going to be the first thing that I recommend. Also recently, just now we're like, well, what actually matters? The meetings or, cash flow? So now tracking, okay, what's new MRR bringing into the business? What's just one-off cash bringing into the business on a weekly basis? And then we're able to track this stuff and see how we're doing. Is it a meeting issue? Is it a sales issue where, hey, maybe we're having tons of meetings, but we're not closing any cash? What's going on here? And then you can have both this on your appointment setting, which they're responsible for getting, new bookings. And then also on the sales side, hey, what's going on with this? So this is what you can use right now for your sales. And some process like this, this is not automated. We just update this that, the appointment setters update this manually, and I found that to be the best way. So when you start automating this stuff, people don't really look at it. I've tried to use mint.com for finances, but then I just find myself not looking at my finances, or I'd rather just, Google Sheet and do the finances. It stinks. It does take time, but it means that it's important, and then you're going to look at it and actually do something about it. So the second thing that you can implement, so we just talked about sales. The second one will be churn. So this is something that the largest companies, they just have low churn, and they actually track churn is what I found. So, our company mission and our goal is to achieve 4% client churn, 11-month retention, and we want to have gross lifetime value per client to be $30,000. So now we're starting to track this stuff. And the way I got this idea was I was listening to Alex Hormozy with Gym Launch, and he was talking on how he took the top gyms who had the lowest churn and what were they doing that other gyms weren't doing, and why did they have such a low churn? And I found that the very first thing was they actually track churn. And prior, I was not tracking churn as a company. So immediately, number one, we need to track churn and actually keep data of this. If someone showed up, or if someone missed showing up, so they didn't, let's say they sign up and then they don't actually show up to your gym, well, then that's a problem. You need to contact them. So for us, it's like if we send them their onboarding form and they take 5 days to fill out their onboarding form. Well, really, that should never happen, because by day 2, day 3, day 4, we're giving them a text, a call every single day, making sure they got into Slack okay, making sure they got their onboarding call, etc. Exit interviews, member events, handwritten cards, making sure you're just checking in on your clients as people every 2 weeks. Don't automate it, just systematize it. So very important for it not to be impersonal. You want to make it very personal. So you're never automating it. You're just making it so every Tuesday or every 1st and 15th of the month, you are just doing this. And now, something that we're doing is literally just tracking client churn. And this is something that, really is going to help us get to our goal, and it's going to help us scale our company. And then the third one is going to be the department KPI. So in this case, for creative, again, recently launched this. And what we found is that unique outbound click-through rate is the KPI that we like to look at when we are tracking how we're doing as a department. It's not ROAS, because ROAS, you have to account for the website, you have to account for the media buying. There's a lot of things with that, so it'd be skewed, where we can directly, as a creative team, impact the click-through rate. Things we like to look at, making sure that it's a broad audience, so not just retargeting ads, because that can skew it. You'll have a higher click-through rate when it's retargeting. And then same with making sure that there's some minimum spend, so $300, nothing crazy. Now, the opportunity for our creative team is they can earn over $100, or not over, they can earn $100 per creative that is above 2%. So we're killing two birds, one stone with this. It's very challenging to get a creative person to then be more data oriented and then go into the ad manager. I've tried in the past and it's been very difficult. So something that we've done to help with that is reward them to literally go into the ad account, give them the resources to know how to look at the data and identify why did this creative get above a 2%. And we're training them to, one, be able to find this stuff so they can see, oh wow, I can literally get paid $100 extra by just knowing what creative is above a 2% as long as I create it. And then they're going to create more creative that is above a 2%, which is going to make our clients more money. Because if we can increase the click-through rate from 1% to 2%, that means 100 web visitors become 200 web visitors, and at a 4% conversion rate, $100 AOV, that means a $400 worth of sales turns into $800 worth of sales. So we're able to make our clients $400 more in this scenario just without spending a penny more on paid advertising, literally just by increasing the click-through rate. So that's obviously a lot more valuable. So we're incentivizing our creative team to just go in and create more winning creative that is above 2% click-through rate. And we're at the same time training them to make less of the stuff that's below that and more of the stuff that is above that, which is obviously net positive. So these are the one thing that we are doing to grow our company, and this is how we really were able to grow, is just tracking KPIs, but also attaching weekly accountability confrontation, where you do have some cadence weekly, where you hop on Zoom, you share your screen, you go over the KPIs, and then every single person on that call, it's right in their face, and it'll be a little bit awkward if you are bottom of the pack or you are not hitting your KPIs, especially the bigger your team. If you have 5 people and you consistently week over week over week are the lowest performer, then it gets a little bit awkward, and it's going to drive people to do better, and ultimately just it's going to make your company a lot more money. It's also going to make your clients a lot more money. So I hope this video was helpful. This is just something that I'm doing right now in our company to help out. And I hope you find it valuable for yourself. And I hope you have a good rest of your week. Enjoy. Cheers.